Hey guys, my name is TrueVoodoo. Welcome to this YouTube video. This video is going to be talking about how to be a better brawler and how to fight better in your heavy tanks. Before we get into the content of the video, I just want to give a shout out for the Scavenger hunt for the NA server. So if you guys don't know what the Scavenger hunt is, this is just a way for you to get a ton of personal reserves. You get some killer XP bonuses, and all you have to do is just visit a channel each day, grab the code and enter it in the premium shop. The more codes you enter, the more bonuses you get. Today I have the code to give. It will be in the description. So tomorrow, Guido is going to drop the code, so I will have his channel in my description. So you can follow that and look at his channel tomorrow, and he'll be giving the next code in the hunt. Alright guys, so this is a replay from a fight I had. I'm playing with my friend IKM. We're both in Object 257s, and we're going into the city on Siegfried line, and we are top tier. So what happened this game is I was fighting with IKM in the city. We're just both playing different spots. We're fighting. We end up working together a little bit. And then I noticed some things happen. So after the game, I went in a training room with him, and I taught him some things about brawling. And so we're going to just watch the fight right off the start. And then I'm going to break some things down so that you guys can see what I was trying to teach him when we were working together on this. So I let him have his corner, and I come here and I'm just checking a different lane. I don't necessarily know if anything's going to be here. I see an IS-3 get lit. I'm reverse side scraping. Right away I can see he's in really good cover. My odds of hitting him on the top of the turret there are very slim, which would be the only weak spot he's giving me, so I just say forget it. I'm going to switch lanes. I'm going to come over here and fight with IKM. So he's going against both of their tier 9 heavies. I'm letting him play the rubble, and I'm reverse side scraping at a distance. So there's one miss at me. Looks like IKM took a hit there from the E75, and then we're both on reload now. So I'm going to come back out and look for a shot here. He takes an HE hit. E75 wasn't ready, so he didn't get his shot off in time. And there's not much you can do about getting hit by a tank who's shooting HE. You're just going to get it for 1 to 300 right there. That was a really big hit. And then you just want to return a shot when they come back out. So you're going to end up beating them on alpha damage through the course of the fight if you can hit them with your normal shells. Right there, I connect for 440. He hits me for 80, but that's HE. It depends on where it hits you with how much damage it does. And at this point, I've seen that IKM's lost about half his health. And so I say, okay, let's slow down a little bit and let's think about this. So some time passes, and then we're going to fast forward in the replay. So here we are. We've been sitting here for a little while, and the enemies have moved up a little bit, and we're going to keep fighting. So right there, I bait a shot from the E75, and it misses. I let my friend know. He fired, so he comes out, but then he takes a hit from the AMX, who's no longer shooting HE. Hits him for 500 damage. I fire a shot into the barrel of the AMX. That couldn't have gone any better. And I'm going to bail over here because I see we're getting flanked. And this is where things start getting crazy. So I miss a shot. I non-pen the low tier tank destroyer. And then I think, okay, we need to kill one side of this. I'm going to go towards IKM. And let's just try to get these heavies out. We're going to go after the top tier heavies. We end up getting the AMX in this fight. We end up getting surrounded. I end up going down right here after my next shot on the AMX. And that's pretty much our fight. So while we were fighting, I noticed two things stuck out to me. It was the 2 hits that IKM took in that brawl. And so I went into a training room with them, and I showed them, hey, here's maybe how you could have came around that spot a little bit better to make it harder for them to hit you. So that's what I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys what we talked about. Alright, so this is nitpicky, but we're going to pause it. The E75 has been aimed for a while, and IKM comes out against an aimed tank, and he's holding pretty stationary, and this allows the E75 to hit his cupola, and he's fully exposed right now. So there's a cupola hit. That's 500 health. That's big in a brawl to take 500 health but not give 500 back. Fast forward. So I'm side scraping again. I get the E75 to fire. And so now IKM's going to go up against his AMX. And he just takes a 500 damage hit because he comes out and it just has an easy shot on him. So when you're in a heavy tank, it's really important to know where your tank is at and what the enemy can see. And that's what I'm thinking that IKM was struggling with, because he did give off 2 big hits there. So let's go into the training room and look at what's going on here. So after that game, I went and jumped in a training room with IKM, and I I didn't record the audio, but we're going to go back and watch the replay, and I'm going to tell you what we talked about. So as I mentioned, when you're in a heavy tank, it's important to know your weak spots. So in this tank, it's the cupola, the turret roof, and the pike armor on the front. So the next important thing is you have to be able to know from the perspective of the enemy what they're able to see when you're coming around a corner. So in this tank, I don't want to give the enemy my entire turret roof as a target and both of my cupolas. I want to have the spatial recognition to know when can he start to see my left cupola, and how do I tease him into firing at that with a low chance to hit. So right away I came into that position and I told ICAM, oh yeah, this hold down is not good. I don't feel safe here. So I'm showing a lot of my whole armor. So I told him, yeah, I probably wouldn't come out that far like you did. And I said, so what you want to do is you want to try to make them hit your cupola. So here I'm showing him, I'm backing off and I'm using a third person view, and I was screen sharing so he could see this. And I said, okay, I'm drawing a line between you, my left cupola, and the building. And so what I'm doing is I'm showing him a little bit of my left cupola to the point where he thinks, okay, I have a chance to hit this. I'm going to take the shot. But I'm not giving him very much. And that's what you need to be able to do in a heavy tank. You don't just come out and say, I have armor, I'm just going to come out and then see if he misses. You say, I know he can hit my cupolas, so I'm going to show him a little bit, give him a chance, and if he fires, he has a good chance to miss, and then it's my turn to come out and then try to take a shot at him. So here I'm showing him how it looks from his perspective and what he should be doing. And I'm barely showing my left cupola using that third person reference. And I'm going to go in and break it down a little bit so you guys can see ways to have that spatial recognition on your tank. So this is just the view from a hold down, and everyone, okay, not everyone, but a lot of people know how to tell when you're in a hold down. So what I do is I come a little bit higher and I'm going to send them these pictures afterwards. So I say, okay, I'm out of the hold down, but how do I know that I'm out of the hold down? So I send them these pictures. I say, okay, so here's the ground. This is my cover. And then I draw, and I tell them you need to draw a line from your reticule across the screen. And that gap between the green line and the white line is more or less representative of my exposure. So you need to minimize that gap. So I'm going to go into the original position, which is very hold down, and I'm going to send him a picture and I'm going to show him that gap. So we need to shoot the car out. So when you're in a hold down or when you're using cover, this is one way to work on your spatial recognition. So I'm putting the hill as close to my reticule as possible, then I know I'm mostly in cover and he can just see my turret roof. So there's the green line of the hill. And then here's the white line that shows the distance between my cover and my reticule. You need to keep that line as small as possible when you're fighting. And you can do that on a vertical plane as well. So the green line here is my cover. And then I want to draw a vertical reference, which is the white line, that kind of shows the center line. And I'm aiming left here, but the white line is more of what the center actually is. And then I can kind of know the smaller the gap between the green and the white gets, the closer to being exposed I am on the left. So that's what I'm watching as I'm in a side scrape to know kind of how far out my cupola is on the side. So we're going to come into this situation, and I have IKM in the spot that he was in earlier. And so I'm going to have him play, and I'm going to have him work on his positioning a little bit. And I do include a picture here that helps you see kind of what he sees from his perspective. So from his perspective, earlier when I pulled on that spot, I was like, yeah, the cover's not that great. I don't feel super safe. It's because immediately when I pulled in, I draw this white line across my screen, and I can see, okay, from the center of my screen to the cover, there's a pretty big gap, which means they can probably see a little bit of my whole armor, which is true. And if you look at his tank in that same cover, you can see I can see a little bit of his whole armor. A little bit of that is exposed, which is a hittable area. So I move up a little bit, and I have IKM get into that same position we were in earlier. But I'm telling him this time that he's there, I want him to use the third person angle, the third person camera, and try to judge how much of his cupola is showing. So I'm kind of vocalizing with him here and letting him know like what I can see, and it's helping him reference that. And so then he starts getting to this point where I say, yeah, I can just barely see that, and he knows where that's at now. Then I tell him, congratulations, you look like a unicum right now with the way you're playing that cover. It's excellent. So here's just another visual example of a situation. So if you're in a tank, like this is a 277 and he's side scraping, he knows I can hit him on his whole armor right there, just in front of the side armor. And so what he needs to do is he needs to be able to visualize where that's at, and he can use a third person perspective and he can judge that. And he wants to show me a little bit of it and try to get me to fire. And I hit that. We're close range. That's an easy shot. But that's where the mind games come in when you're playing. The first thing you have to be able to do is know where your tank's at. The second thing you have to be able to do is you have to start learning good timing and try to trick your enemy into firing. But first you have to give them a little bit of a shot. And then you have to know the timing games. That's a whole different battle right there. So here he's using that third person angle and he's kind of judging how high his cupola is. And he wants to try to get me to shoot at it and miss. And now he gets a freebie. That is the art of brawling. That is what you have to be doing. You have to know where your tank's at. You have to give them a shot. You can't just side scrape and give them nothing. You have to give them something. But what you choose to give them is a low percentage chance. You increase their chance of missing. You get them to fire, and then you come out, and then it's your turn. That's how you start winning brawls. Alright, you guys ready to have your minds blown? Now that we just watched this video, watch this fight, but remember everything we talked about and look for it. Watch what I'm doing in this fight, now that you understand a little bit better. I'm watching my center line, I come out a little bit. I'm not trying to shoot, I just juke and I make a miss. That's a successful dodge. Look at my center line right here. I'm drawing my center line on that building. I was giving them a shot right there, just like we talked about throughout this entire video. I'm doing it again. Now watch. I'm showing my cupola here, just a little bit. You see a miss right there? He hit the edge of the rubble. The first time you watch this, I guarantee you did not realize I was doing that the entire time. Everything we just talked about, I was doing this fight, but if you don't understand it, you probably just can't recognize it. One more right here. I'm drawing my center line. This is a center line draw. I come out a little bit. I come back in and he misses. I was giving him some of my cupola using my center line reference. And then I just tried to time him and I come back in. I was giving a low percentage shot and I timed him. I sincerely hope that was a big light bulb moment for you watching that fight again, but with the new knowledge. My whole purpose making content and streaming and doing these YouTube videos is just to help everybody. If this helped you in any way, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the video. If you guys want to come watch me live, I'll leave my Twitch link in the description as well. Thanks for watching the video. Good luck on your battles. And go get them, guys. I caught him on fire! Did I kill him? I caught him on fire! And the Artie's right behind him. The Artie's right behind him. Oh, this Artie's gonna die next, please. I don't know what to do.